pitch in his assembly hall. Ravana became restless and abruptly left the hall and went up on a tower from which he could obtain a full view of the city. He surveyed the scene below, but could not stand it. One who had spent a lifetime in destruction now found the gory spectacle intolerable. Groans and wailings reached his ears with deadly clarity. In other words, war is hell. He's always been the perpetrator of war. Now all of a sudden he's seeing it redound on him. This was too much for him. He felt a terrific rage. By the way, notice they focus here on characterization. A terrific rage rising within him, mixed with some admiration of Rama's valor. He told himself, the time has come for me to act by myself again. He hurried down the steps of the tower, returned to his chamber, prepared himself for the battle. He had a ritual bath and performed special prayers to gain the benediction of Shiva. Donned his battle dress, matchless armor, armlets and crowns. He had on a protective armor for every inch of his body. When we study the Iliad later as seniors, we're going to see something very similar. When we study Virgil's Aeneid, the great Roman epic, we're going to see something very similar. That is to say, you got to get armored up to get ready to go for your fight, right? By the way, notice the social and cultural context of the mention of Shiva as well at number 7. Do you see it? When he emerged from his chamber, his heroic appearance was breathtaking. He summoned his chariot, which could be drawn by horses or move on its own if the horses were hurt or killed. People stood aside when he came out of the palace and entered his chariot. This is my resolve, he said to himself. Either that woman Sita or my wife Mandodari will soon have cause to cry and roll in the dust and grief. Surely before this day is done, one of them will be a widow. In other words, he realizes, I either am a victor or I'm dead. Put it in your notes. We will, at 3a, we will see something very similar in the story of the Troy tale when we meet the great Trojan hero Hector, who will have to make a decision. Do I fight against Achilles or do I hide behind the walls of Troy? Knowing that if he fights against Achilles, the likelihood is he probably will not return to his wife and to his son, Astyanax. The gods in heaven noticed, again more social context and cultural context, the gods in heaven noticed Ravana's determined move and felt that Rama would need all the support they could muster. They requested Indira to send down his special chariot for Rama's use. When the chariot appeared at his camp, Rama was deeply impressed with the magnitude and brilliance of the vehicle. Notice, the gods helping humans to contest, to fight. Rama fastened his sword, slung 2 quivers full of rare arrows over his shoulders, and climbed into the chariot. 1036. So you see it, again, for the gamers in the house, you know how this works, right? Sooner or later, there's going to be this contest. Of course, it's a whole lot better. Think about the movies. Let's make a 3A observation. Think about all the movies where we have a major fight scene. Notice how you got to get the one side geared up, then you got to get the other side geared up, one warrior ready to go, the other warrior ready to go. There's usually an identifiable good guy, bad guy that's going on here, and you obviously are ready to see who's going to win in the contest, right? I'm on page 1036. Let's finish our reading quickly. The beat of war drums. By the way, notice the word choice here. Notice the different descriptive phrases they'll point out at number 9. The beat of the war drums, the challenging cries of soldiers, the trumpets, and the rolling chariots speeding along to confront each other created a deafening mixture of noise. While Ravana had instructed his charioteer to speed ahead, Rama very gently ordered his chariot driver, Ravana is in a rage. Let him perform all the antics he desires and exhaust himself. Until then, be calm. We don't have to hurry forward. Move slowly and calmly. And you must strictly follow my instructions. I will tell you when to drive faster, end quote. By the way, Odysseus will be like this. We'll see him as a warrior who in the middle of a tough situation doesn't lose his head. He's crafty, often translated out of the Greek as the wily Odysseus, the crafty, the thinker. In other words, Rama will say, let's not get caught up too much in this action. Let's be intentional. Let's be wise, and therefore we'll win. Notice we'll continue. Ravana's assistant and one of his staunchest supporters, Mahadora, the giant among giants in his physical appearance, begged Ravana, let me not be a mere spectator when you confront Rama. Let me have the honor of grappling with him. Permit me to attack Rama. So in other words, you always got the sidekick. Let's put that in our notes. Another archetype, right? You always got the sidekick. And notice here, hey, I wanna fight. Let me fight. Don't take all of the fighting for yourself. We'll see something, by the way, similar when we study the epic of Gilgamesh, a Babylonian epic, in our senior work together. Notice Ravana's reply. Rama is my sole concern. If you wish to engage yourself in a fight, you may fight his brother, Lakshmana. Noticing Mahadora's purpose, Rama steered his chariot across his path in order to prevent Mahadura from reaching Lakshmana. Whereupon Mahadura ordered his chariot driver, now dash straight ahead directly into Rama's chest. The charioteer, more practically minded, advised him, I would not go near Rama. Let us keep away. But Mahadura, obstinate and intoxicated with war fever, made straight for Rama. He wanted to know the honor of a direct encounter with Rama himself in spite of Ravana's advice. This is going to be very similar in the Iliad to what we will find when Achilles will tell his best friend, Patroclus, don't go out and run after the Trojans when you're wearing my armor. And unfortunately, Patroclus will not listen when he comes face to face with the great warrior of the Trojans, Hector. Very similar kind of storyline. We'll continue now to just finish. He wanted to have the honor of a direct encounter with Rama himself in spite of Ravana's advice. And for this honor he paid a heavy price, as it was a moment's work for Rama to destroy him and leave him lifeless and shapeless on the field. We're going to have lots and lots of killing and dying in these epic poems. Noticing this, Ravana's anger mounted further. He commanded his driver, you will not slacken now, go. Notice now more social and cultural context here. Many ominous signs were seen now. Within a culture that, for example, is always worried about omens and bad signs, we'll play that game. His bowstring suddenly snapped. The mountains shook. Thunders rumbled in the skies. In ancient cultures, when the weather turned bad. We're going to see this in our study of Shakespeare, right? When things go badly in weather, people start freaking out a little bit, right? Because they don't like the idea that all of a sudden weird stuff is happening in the weather. That might be a sign, a bad sign. We're playing the same game here, right? Tears flowed from the horses' eyes. Elephants were decorated with decorated foreheads, moved along dejectedly. Ravana, noticing them, hesitated only for a second, saying, I don't care. This mere mortal Rama is of no account, and these omens do not concern me at all. Meanwhile, Rama paused for a moment to consider his next step and suddenly turned towards the army supporting Ravana, which stretched away to the horizon and destroyed them. He felt that this might be one way of saving Ravana. With his armies gone, it was possible that Ravana might have a change of heart, but it only had the effect of spurring Ravana on. He plunged forward and kept coming nearer Rama and his own doom. Notice the word choice of own doom reveals that Rama will triumph over Ravana, that is to say, good triumphs over evil. This outcome develops the universal theme that good triumphs over evil. No, obviously, we can see and make all kinds of connections from a text like this. When we pick up our study of the Odyssey and the Troy Tale, we'll play very, very similar games. We're going to see very similar kinds of things happening. Now, we'll go to work in our next study on 1037 with some independent practice from a completely different kind of text, a text that comes out of a athletic tradition, and the great North Carolina basketball program, and Dean Smith, the great coach for many, many years of North Carolina, in a text called The Carolina Way. We'll come back to that in our next study. Thank you.